Another episode of Inside the Rap Studio, folks. Episode 47, technically, because episode 46 is supposed to be... No, episode 47 is supposed to be yesterday. Being those dropout. I might have an extra space Sunday? Not Sunday. Saturday? Who knows? I might not. I don't know. Today we're gonna have Bobby Woody on. I don't know why I did that voice either. Today we're gonna have Bobby Woody on, talk about a few things such as like rap camp, talking about moving to New York, his latest single, a few projects that he's done. Once he's on, we're pretty much gonna get offset. Woo. Rackets and back is it, around in the coop. I take your bitch right from you. Bitch, I'm a dog roof. Be the whole walls loose. Cop in the fall roof. Skirt. I miss Bad and Bougie. I hate what it became. But I miss the energy. I miss the vibe per se of Bad and Bougie. If you see this hat, it's because my hair is horrible right now. I should get a haircut, but guess who's not? I'm going to be doing giveaways with this hat pretty soon. Basically, it's going to deal with a video that I'll be releasing pretty soon. So once the video is complete, once everything is like done and all that stuff, we're going to get like the giveaway started. Basically, just giving these hats out. Oh, Bobby Woody's in the house. Go ahead and join it live, compadre. Got my applause ready and loaded. Let me get my notes together, even though I was doodling this whole time and not being a musician noodle and doing things. But yeah, we're gonna get it together. It's already Wednesday, and that doesn't bother me, but I don't know how to feel about that.
Yo.
Can you hear me, compadre?
Yeah, I hear you, dog. Am I good?
All right. So, everybody, please welcome to another exciting episode of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Score Swayze, and today we have a very special guest in the building. He works with Rap Camp. He is a multi-dimensional artist, a man of many talents, one of them being rap. Also released a single not too long ago called 23. Great project. Great all around. So everybody please drop likes, drop hearts, drop comments for the one, the only, Bobby Woody. How's it going, compadre?
I'm chilling, bro. It's a super nice day out here. You know, I can't complain. How you been?
I don't know, man. Life. So honestly, like I just roll with the punches at this point. So for every episode of Inside the Rapper Studio, for the bottom screen, there's the legend, there's the origin story told for how everything started musically. So could you tell us the beginnings of the musician known as Bobby Woody?
The beginnings of the musician known as Bobby Woody, I would guess say I was probably like in middle school when like YouTube started being a thing. And I think the first time I heard rap and I'm like, I want to do rap music is probably, it was either Kanye West, Jesus Walks, or it was Lupe Fiasco, Kick Push, because he's rapping about skateboarding. And I've been skateboarding for dumb long, so it's just like, yo, like, this nigga talking about skateboarding on a rap song? Like, that's it. So I guess I've been kind of like writing raps or whatever since then. I think around like in middle school, I was just playing trombone, and I think by 8th grade I had like bought my first mic, which I still have somewhere in here, and started trying to like record myself into like Mixcraft, had the Cracked FL Studio, trying to make beats and shit. Really just a lot of that, a lot of sucking for a long time. I feel like high school I went to Baltimore School for the Arts, and that's where I really learned a lot of theory and shit. They're not really hip to the music production stuff, but I was like, that was what I was on. Like I was there for trombone, but that's what I was fucking with. So I was, I guess, using that knowledge towards that. And I think definitely somewhere in high school, I like hit the realization where like we had these juries for like our instruments, like our tests every semester or whatever to see if you're doing well. And let me tell you, for the first 2 years, I was never doing well. I was never doing like I was killing my grades, but like I was just not good by their standard. Um, whatever. But at some point, I was just like, man, like I should just stick to what I'm good at, which is making beats and trying to rap and stuff. And I still play my horn and I still do a lot of musical stuff, but I've been definitely trying to tunnel vision for the past, since then. Uh, since then, I moved to New York. I went to school at SUNY Purchase, another art school. There, I was really there for like production and stuff. That was cool. It was mostly like you learn what you teach yourself, but they had all these studios that we could go to at any time. So like at any hour of the night, I might be in the music building cooking up or like recording with like we had a huge stash of microphones that I took for granted, like using that shit all the time to see how it works. Eventually, I graduated, I guess, with that music production degree, and now I'm still doing music shit.
Gotcha. So the one thing I really have to ask is the art school perspective of an artist. This is actually the first time I've actually had to discuss going to art school. Granted, shouts out to Title. He said that he went to performing art school. But since I have the question here, I want to know what you learned, not just as a producer, but as a rapper going to art school.
How did I feel? What do you mean, like from a high school perspective or from the college perspective?
Well, what did you learn from the rapper's perspective going to art school?
Okay, I would say, all right. So I definitely learned like hearing. My ears are like super. Like I think my ears are already good. Like my dad, since a child, has been playing like his favorite soul records in the car. Like I've always been able to like listen to something and hear. But like being able to write that on paper and notate it, that's definitely helped stuff. And then also hearing is gonna go rhythmically or chord wise. Like that's I guess it's made it like that's why my songwriting now has gotten a lot more melodic. I would say just because that's what's become more fun. Like hearing like, oh shit, this is gonna resolve this way, or some shit like that. Um, in terms of making me a better rapper, I don't know. Like Baltimore City Public Schools does what it does to make every kid a rapper. you know, but same shit. It's cool though. Our school was
I mean,
cool. It's just not real school. That's what it is. That's why it has no boundaries. So like the way like I feel like a lot of this DIY scene shit moves like in Baltimore and New York and Philly, like it's really kind of how a lot of us was moving at art school. Like except in art school you don't have bills to pay, so it like breathes quicker and all that shit. But I definitely learned how to I guess move as an artist at school.
it's actually pretty good to get like your teeth sharpened within like your skills as an artist, especially within the space that allows artistic growth, such as like a performance art school. Do you feel as though you'd be in a different space, not just musically but career wise, if you didn't go?
That's a great question. I don't know. If I didn't go to BSA, like I really don't know what I would be on. Like when I was at BSA, I thought like, man, if I had went to Poly, like I wouldn't have so much work and I'd have all these songs out and I'd be like fucking on by now.
Right.
Who knows? Now that, that's if I didn't go to SUNY Purchase, like going to that school was so fucking random. Like I only applied because my friend who went to BSA told me about it, and then I auditioned and got there. I was like, oh, this place is actually fucking fire. I think if I didn't go there, I wouldn't. I mean, I probably would have eventually got to the point I'm at now, but I wouldn't like understand like how music as an industry or business works. Cause I mean, before I left, I didn't understand. I thought it was just like, all right, I guess I keep making songs, I keep putting them out, I keep trying to work with people, and eventually maybe you get lucky. I guess like I don't know how it works, but at SUNY Purchase, I saw like, granted there were white kids, but I saw there's a good scene of like rock bands from the past, like say between like 2010 to like 2016, a bunch of bands like white rock bands that ended up like touring nationally and getting pretty popular. And I
Give us a second, folks. There's a little bit of a lag. I don't know if you can tell. I'm rolling. Uh, Hopefully he can add back on. Then we'll just continue with the interview. Let's see. I wonder where he is. Studio 2. Hopefully, up there you go. I'm gonna send another request. See if this works. Yeah, great interview so far. I mean, I don't want to wall. Can you hear me?
yeah, I hear you. Was that me? My
Uh,
internet.
I'm gonna say no, but I'm gonna say yes because I have too much pride in admitting things.
Understood. Understood for real.
So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the project that you released back in 2018 called "Cartoons Are for Kids." So could you tell us? Yeah, Joey's in the building. Everybody, shouts out to Joey. So for "Cartoons Are for Kids," I wanted to know what your concept was or what the perspective you were trying to show for this project.
This is funny. That project was my senior project for college. I was like what I had to present to my teachers to exit. Like I needed to drop, and I didn't need to drop. I needed to show them an album, and I also needed to. I was a double major, so I had like music production, and then also it was a kid sister. I also had math, computer science. That was my other major, doing math and music. And I had to make this album, and then also to satisfy the math requirements. Comp sci is like talk about the mathematics of music and write a whole paper on it. Like I really finesse, like like I really, you know, But the project had been coming like it's just a project that in my head I've been trying to make for years. Like the oldest song on there is Crayon Song, which is from high school, like on another mixtape that had been reworked and everything. The concept of it, like I was trying to get everything to fit together and kind of be like it was supposed to be like how I was viewing my childhood, like how I was kind of seeing Baltimore via the eyes of a child, like, oh, like all the songs are supposed to, or most of them are supposed to sound happy and cool and upbeat, like, because the ideas that people are dancing, like, when they hear them, like, at the shows, that's definitely what they're made for. But I want to, like, lyrically be kind of still describing shit that, like, the average Baltimore youth may think, like, y'all better be shaking that ass in my funeral. Like, I know it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be lit, but it's like kind of like, what? Like, that's kind of fucked up, like, and that's I guess I was trying to capture my view of my poverty in Baltimore and put it into that tape and not be depressing, because life isn't depressing. Like life is depressing, but it's not like you can still keep it moving and it's still gonna have fun when you can. Type shit.
Gotcha. With the pretty much project servicing around, like, I guess, early Baltimore themes, such as, like, what I'm saying, growing up in Baltimore, but still dealing with the problems within Baltimore, such as poverty, crime, gang violence, drugs, things like that.
All
How do
that
you
is still
feel?
being a high schooler type shit,
Yeah.
That's like the perspective I was looking at.
How do you feel as though, like, you've expressed that within the project and still keep that theme?
Um, I think like I would treat, and I still do this. I feel like I treat the writing sessions as kind of like that's like my form of therapy. So I'll write what I'm really thinking, like to a beat, like that I like. Like I feel like all the songs started most of the time with the beat, with the hook. Like I got this line in my head, and then we just went somewhere from there. So like for Crayon Song, that's really like like an you know the show Class of 3000. They had Andre 3000 had a show on had a, had a show on Cartoon Network called Class of 3000. Crayon Song was one of their songs. And I wanted to sample that, and after a while I did, but I guess when I got to college, I eventually like rewrote it, like put some instruments behind it and arranged it. And I tried to make like everybody do a Crayon song. That song in the show was supposed to be like kind of about racism subtly. So that's kind of what that song was supposed to attack, you know, fucking that's kind of how all the songs went. At my funeral started just like I don't remember, I think I was having a conversation with my brother when I was living in Bolton Hill one summer, said, shit, niggas better be shaking their ass at my funeral. There's no, you know, and I think from there it just you know, I was like, oh shit, like I can definitely put a beat behind this, and that's supposed to be not political, but like just been like Addie Mae Callins and get to C16. That's a line about um, the Alabama church bombing in like 1963 or something like that. Like I try to like research a little bit for the lyrics too, so they're not like just me talking shit. But yeah, you know.
I actually hear a lot of influence from the Kanye that you mentioned when you came to like early internet access to like the music stuff, and I can hear that within the musicality within the song. How much Kanye influence is in this project?
You definitely like yeah. The fact that she said that, like, I definitely love Kanye. You know, all the people I really love are Kanye, or really like also just inspired by Kanye. Everything. I guess one of my favorite albums ever, like off rip, is just Graduation. You know, like that's definitely like inspired most of my. Even now, still like my production. Like every so often, I'll still bump Graduation and be like, damn, like this thing fucked up every song here. I need to get in this bag, you know. Like, but definitely a lot of Kanye, a lot of older Kanye. But at that time too, I was definitely highly. You can probably tell like Chance the Rapper is who I was listening to. I was listening to Kanye, a lot of Chance, a lot of Gold Link. That nigga is trash now. I understand, but like at that point, like I still, I still love his music. Um, a lot of shit like that. And I was just doing what I thought sounded cool. And then taking some of the songs like, to my friends, like, yo, Jack, can you play piano? Yo, Evan, can you play bass? And then going through the laborious process of like chopping up everything. Like none of that stuff is just like recorded and all the way through. Like it's like 10 takes, and then from there you like gonna use this, gonna use this, gonna use this. Um, it was definitely like a project. Like, I was really I try to treat them like school projects or some shit. Like each one should be like a little thesis.
It definitely has that like layered out process, whereas though everything's like very heavily detailed, not just from the themes, not just from the lyrics, not just from the flow, but the entire like production side of it. So huge kudos on that. I'm not gonna lie. Like I usually do live listens when it comes to Inside the Rapper Studio and songs and projects and stuff, just so I can get the story and the sound at the same time. And honestly, the story matches the sound tenfold because like everything just sounds so like condensed, but like it just has like a lot of like I guess blossoming sounds within it. Like with the horns in there, you got pretty much the choir in there, and it just blends out perfectly. So huge kudos. Uh, for ones that's just walking in, the song that was recently playing was called Crayon Song, the intro to Cartoons Are for Kids, a recent project dropped by our most recent guest of Inside the Rapper Studio, Bobby Woody. Once again, thank you very much for joining me on this live today. Let me give a few shout outs to everybody that's in the building. Shouts out to Paprika. Shouts out to Yoga McStuff.
Michael, shout out Michael, Talia. Shout out my niggas in here.
Got Olivia Grady, Leo XC. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Who else we got in here? Michael Acosta, Smacky Chan, Kid Sister. Of course, we shouted out Joey Bricks earlier. Cool. Smooth Jaws. It's gonna be we got Ducky Dynamo, we got Planet, two former guests of the show. It's pretty packed in here. Appreciate it, guys. I wanted to talk to you about was a project called Rap Camp.
Rap Camp. Yeah, man.
Detail on what this is?
All right, so to put it in layman's terms, it's studio sessions away from home with friends. That's it. Like that's the tagline. That's really it. But it's I guess it started with Good Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Good, good boy, producer extraordinaire, my fucking, top 10 white people, no doubt. He had his parents like last August, he had hit me up talking about can you hear me? I hear the train is loud as fuck. But last summer he hit me up talking about his parents gave him for his birthday like a vacation. Like not like a vacation, but like they had some points at a Marriott, and he's like he's hitting everybody in the squad up. So that's like me, Jason. He's hitting Brandon, hitting Groovy Don, Apollo, like a whole bunch of people. Like who we like, what's happening? How we getting there? And I think like I'm a freelancer, so like even before this Corona shit, most of the time I could drop shit on it, not on a dime, but like if you give me like 2 weeks, like fuck it, like I'll get the money together. Let's go. So Good Boy's asking all of us to come through. The only people who actually made it through were me, Jack, of course, Good Boy, and Don, Groovy Don, who is fired. We drove all the way down to South Carolina, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina. Came with this Marriott. It was empty. Really just had a whole vacation for 4 days. Did some shrooms. Smoked hella weed. Like we called it rap camp just because like we called it rap camp because I think the first picture we took when we were leaving my brother's house, because they picked me up from my brother's house. The first picture was the first picture was us, like the three of us next to each other, and like backpacks, and like in this backpack we have like fucking music gear and whatever. And that's just how we hang out. We like make songs anyway. So we took all our shit to a rap camp for this like whole week in South Carolina. The week before like a hurricane or some shit like that. Like we left the my bad. We left like the day before a storm, but we went down. Essentially, our goal was let's do 3 songs a day because why not? Let's stay positive. We bought a bunch of food. We cooked. We were cooking every day. And when I say we, I really mean Jack was cooking every day. That boy is a chef. We were waking up, like, drinking, and between each song, I would say like after every time we finished a song, it would be like, all right, we're gonna go smoke 3 blunts on our balcony with this view of the fucking ocean. It was gorgeous, really just having a great time because all we're doing is chilling, like making beats and then blasting them. Like, all right, we're going right to this, smoking dope, and then and then like fire songs would come out. Like fire songs would come out. Like that one definitely like not a single trash. Like every song was just realizing that's like the fucking best way to even make music. Like I get why it be so many niggas in the studio because when it's like a couple people just focus like on it, like having fun, like that's when niggas get the most competitive too. Like you really be rapping for a sport, so like it'd be like your best verse is coming out. Like I'll say some shit, and then Don will go crazy. Well, Don will go start a song, or a Good Boy start a song, and then it's like, all right, I know exactly how I'm gonna murk these niggas and kill this song. So we did that trip. We came back. We have all the songs. The project is done. I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna reach it, like release it now, but that's coming out soon. And then we just did more. So like I think the next month I didn't go, but there was a small like little New Jersey one. They did a couple songs, and then in November it's crazy that we even made this happen. We went to LA, and it was a whole bunch of us. It was me, it was Jason, DJ Sun, Good Boy, Groovy Don, Apollo Renegade, aka Camille. Was he living in LA? No, he wasn't living in LA at the time, but Camille was there. Omar, Young Outlandish, my boy was there. Fucking this dude West Will, who's like a rapper from Cleveland, that's the homie. He pulled up, and then we got a bunch of. What you say?
He was on Crayon Song.
Yes, yeah. That was my guy. This is my second trip to LA with him. And honestly, the LA trip was his idea. Like he's like, bro, we should go. Me and him had went to LA back in January, linked up with this dude, Great Dane. And we're like, we should go back. And I was like, oh, we can make this a fucking rap camp. And I told everybody about it, and everybody who could get the money together, we like booked a house in an Airbnb and like I can't remember what part of LA. Everybody that I know, everybody that we know from like Baltimore that lives in LA, like most of our friends definitely like pulled up on us. So like it was lit every night. We weren't supposed to have that many people in the house. I definitely got a terrible Airbnb review. We were definitely smoking in the house. We weren't supposed to be, but the rule just broke so quick. It was what it was, you know. But it was a great time. We had the studio set up like in the dining room. I had brought some speakers. Like we only really needed the one, and like I think Jack would wake up and make hella beats. I make some beats. Jason had hella beats, and we just playing. And whoever starts writing. And whenever a verse gets written, it's all right. We about to lay it down. We're gonna keep it going. Like who got a hook? Multiple songs were just being worked on, and then it was just such like an eternal party. Like we hardly was even like LA chilling. Like I definitely did some LA chilling, but we was mostly like, yo, like to the dispensary and back. You feel me? Like that shit was mad fun.
That actually
So from those,
sounds
we have like three full projects. And we're trying to do more. Like we were supposed to go to another one in Atlanta, like in April, and that was like when Corona popped off, so it got canceled. So I can't wait till we do rap camps again because my system
that
needs
sounds
that, you know.
that's extremely exciting. I'm actually pretty glad that I asked you that question because I saw it on the bio and I didn't know much about it myself. And I was going to do like my whole little research and
It's okay. It's
trying
still
to.
secret right now. It's still low key. But like anybody can come. Like we invite everybody to pull up. Once we like make news of we're gonna go here, it's just like, all right, we're coming. This is our Airbnb. This is when we're going. Like if you wanna come, let us know and we'll make sure, you get figured out
Gotcha.
type shit.
How would you describe the camaraderie amongst projects such as Rap Camp? Because like there's a lot of traveling. There's just straight up like you and the other artists around, and it's just nothing but music, energy, and just straight up camaraderie. So, how would you
Definitely
describe the
camaraderie.
you guys like have to like build up and make music within these spaces?
Man, it's really just fun as fuck. Like I do love making songs on my own, but I love that because I get mad particular and like to do little things. Like I want to fuck up with every edit. Like let me, you competing with yourself. I go on forever. But when you with other people, you're in a room trying to get to the next song or whatever. You just it's just like, all right, let's go. Like write a verse, kind of not as quick as possible, but we try to get it done quick and be on to the next. So you try to write a verse quick as possible. Whoever got the hook, that's like who you really going with. Like, all right, this man got the hook. Like, all right, I'm gonna write a verse around that. Then you hear the first verse and it's just like, oh fuck, this shit is crazy. This nigga like spaz. Now I gotta go stupider. And then everybody else
Right.
in the room like, fuck, like and then sometimes we run out of time, so some people don't get a verse, and it's like on to the next beat. But it's mad innovative and it's mad quick. Like it's just like it's only idea. Like within like a day, everybody gets into the flow. Like it's just like we on songs, we doing like at rap camp. I think it was 7 songs a day is what our flow was on right there. And we probably could. Some days we did more. Some days we did less. But it's definitely like I don't know, like an Olympic gymnastics team or some shit. Like everybody got to be top notch type shit. Like you better do your flip as good as Gabby Douglas, as good as Simone Biles, as good as the next nigga, as the next nigga. Um, because we only going against each other. Like it's really just for sport. Like um, and it's definitely some camaraderie. Like you got to come to one. You got to come to one.
I actually do want to like. That sounds like something I would one that I don't really do often, especially when not to make it about me right now, but like I don't really do the whole traveling thing. I don't really do the whole like I guess working with a lot of other people instead of just like two or three. It's a different experience for me. So like next time you do that, please let me know. I'm definitely down to do that.
Most definitely. We're trying to also show people that it's like not impossible to travel. Like none of the trips are costing that much. Like right now, these days you can get an Airbnb for a couple days. You split it with like 4 or 5 homies. You might pay like 1 to 300 for the Airbnb, depending on how nice one you got and how long you staying. You could get a car. You could Uber everywhere. We usually just Uber. Or like in LA, our friend Michaela had a car. Um, like I guess LA, the most expensive part was just getting to LA, like the fucking plane tickets. Like that was like for me a $300 round trip. But it's like feasible. Like you can save the money over the course of time if you just like plan it out and you know plan for it. We're trying to do them regularly because I think that's like I feel like that's the best thing for me. Like I think everybody else in the camp also agrees. Like we just need to keep doing that. Like that keeps us on. That's like the knife sharpener. You know.
That's definitely a whetstone for artists. Next song I wanted to talk to you about from Cartoons Are for Kids is called Analog. Could you tell us the process of making this song and the creative, the creative process of making this song?
Man, this song, I don't know. This is one of those beats that I made, like, cause sometimes I be doing I feel like I do the Lex Luger thing where I get into a clockwork, like I'm gonna just wake up and I'm definitely gonna be making beats today, like whatever I do. And I think this was one of those clockwork beats, like I was just fucking around with some chords in FL Studio, and then the drums down. I feel like that whole song is it's like a fucking weird beat. Like, um, I think I really don't even know where the hook came from. Like, I just know I had the digital kid doing analog shit. Actually, no, I do remember it, and you're gonna like this story. So the whole thing, the whole song actually is based off of the line "Analog Girl in a Digital World," which I don't know. You just interviewed DDM. He's in a or was in a group called Bond Street District, and they had a song a while ago, Matinee, and one of the lines. And I was obsessed with this project. One of the lines is like, "Analog girl in the digital world, make it hard to get work with a natural curl." And I think I wanted to like I do that a lot. I'll hear a line and I'm like, damn, I wish I could use that. So like I kind of based the song off of that thought, like analog girl in the digital world. Like at the end, like it's a sample of DDM saying that analog girl in the digital world. And it just went from there. Like I tried to get like a nice little like I tried to make it feel like summer '06, if that makes sense. You know, for like a kid. You know, the song came together like I can remember now. I'm hearing the song. I'm like, damn, I can remember who I was writing it about and everything. Made the beat. I think I rapped it at school like one random day. I had the song for a while. Renaissance had recorded one feature like super late in that music building. She was a girl who went to school with me. Um, the first feature I didn't like. So, like we came back, did it like months later, and now I think then I was like, damn, this is hard as fuck. Like, and that's like another one of my like favorite songs. Like it's not my favorite song, but it's like, damn, like I'm glad I did that. Like, how did I do? You know, like one of those I don't even remember like how I did it sometimes. You know, but
So with the song Analog, he's getting inspiration from the Tyler song Analog because like there's the obvious like Kanye like hints and homages and stuff like that. But was there also some influences from Tyler as well?
say that again. Could you repeat that?
Did you hear me?
No, I said say that again for one time.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did
No,
the
you good.
did the song Analog get some influences Tyler as well as Kanye? Because there's some Kanye elements in here as well.
Most
So
definitely, yeah.
like a I guess homage there as well.
Yeah, no, I think like another big inspiration for some of these songs, like as I was finishing them, I was definitely listening to a lot of Flower Boy and a lot of Control, like the summer before, like definitely a lot of Tyler, Kanye, of course, just because like I feel like I can't even escape. Like that's one of those niggas like you listen to for so long, it's just like man, he did kind of change music for real, you know, like it's in your head type shit. But yeah, like definitely
Got it.
shit.
Like I can definitely hear it within like the I guess I don't keep saying chord progression because I feel like that's the one thing Tyler's fans always say is chord progression. But you can definitely hear it within like the notes and like within like the instruments played in the lead and stuff like that. So like it's definitely a clean track. I love it so much. I definitely love the verse from Renaissance as well. For those walking in, that was Analog, the song from Cartoons Are for Kids, from the project, our most latest guest of Inside the Studio, Bobby Woody.
Ooh,
Once again, Bobby, thank you very much for answering these hard-hitting in-your-business questions.
no problem.
Next thing I wanted to talk to you about was living in New York. How different is it musically living in the Big Apple rather than living in the Big Crab Cake?
All right, so like I feel like it's still like hard for me to answer that question because Like when I was living in Baltimore, last time I was really living in Baltimore was like high school. Like after high school, I came to college and I was living in Westchester, which is not technically the city. So I wasn't going to the city too much when I was in school. But as of like 2018, like when I left school, I've been living in the city, and I feel like I've been kind of like learning it. And like the first year, I was like, man, this is like tough. Like this is weird. This is strange. Trying to meet people. I mean, it's like anything. Trying to break into a scene. It's like wow, like this is a lot of work, and it might be even like a little bit more work than like in Baltimore, because in Baltimore it's easy for me to like even now I don't live in Baltimore, but I can like take a bus and go to shows like 2, 3 weekends a fucking month, and like that's how I've been like how I was getting my face around. Like, let me just do these 2, 3 shows I go to, and then like work with the niggas I always work with. So like every like good, clean fun, I'ma be there. Every like young outlandish outing event, I'ma be there. Like those my niggas. Like I'm gonna be there anyway. Like it's so easy to come down. But in New York, just because like most of my original good friends like were like they're either from Baltimore, like affiliated via High School of Music, or like from this college. It's not the city. Like it's like it was really like just building from scratch. But it's cool. Like once you get into it, start meeting people. It's just a small. It's not. It's like bigger than Baltimore, but it's just as like interconnected and small as Baltimore. Like everybody knows everybody. Like I've like same way in Baltimore where I've met like people who like were just my favorite artists for a while. Like in New York, there are people who were like my favorite artists, and then like eventually it's like, damn, I ran into this person, or like, oh, now I get to make music with this person. Like who would have thought like when I was like listening to the song such and such. But I think in New York, like it's cool. The coolest thing is that because there's so many fucking hey, what's up, Q? Because there's so many people here, like my my experience, like it's been easier to not I don't want to say build a fan base, but kind of build a support group around me. Like every time, like I feel like no matter what, like as you're like in that phase of trying to meet people and trying to build that around you, like you go through a lot of people that are not gonna be for you, or like people that you don't not gonna vibe with, people whose like music you might not like as much. But because in New York, there's so many people. Like if you lose one, like you just find another one. Like not saying people are dispensable, but like you can match with someone who will work for you, and then you'll also like in that process of finding those people, you meet so many people. Like it's easier to build like I don't know your name or whatever. Like really, I call people like it's really just my friends. That's what I feel like my supporters are a bunch of my friends. Like if I pack out a show, it's because I got a bunch of friends that I met over time that pull up, and that I feel like has been easier to build in New York. But pushing that past that, I've been trying to figure that out like everybody else.
Gotcha. As a person that really just, I don't want to say I stay in the city all the time, but like, as a person that's really like somewhat confined to the spaces here, and as a person that operates within the space here, how would you describe, I guess, the venues and differences between Baltimore and New York? Because, like, I don't know if I want to address the elephant in the room, but absolutely nobody likes any venue in the city. But it might be a story within a place like New York. So, is there any difference in terms of venues?
So here's what I'm gonna say: venues at a lower level, are just never gonna be fun for anyone. So like we want to just put the elephant in the room, say the crown. You feel me? The crown is like the crown reminds me of like my high school venue. We had this thing called the Stude. The crown's just like a smaller version, but the Stude had like 3 rooms. We had a big room, a blue room, a red room, but just over different names. But it was a warehouse, and just Stude run. So it would be a mess. The crown also, as cool as it is, it'd be a mess. But also like venues like that in New York City, like there's so many venues in New York City, but if their the thing with venues in New York City, most of their main thing is just like this is actually a bar. We kind of have a stage or some shit. So like if it's like a less than 200 cap room, it's just always like you're always gonna be like making do. And like even my favorite places like on that small level, like I love Transpicos. I'm there all the fucking time. Like could still do so much better. Like if niggas were really trying type shit. But then you
Right.
get to like once you start playing like the slightly bigger venues, I assume this is true. It's kind of true in Baltimore too. Like once you start playing like Like I did a show in January at this place called Knitting Factory, and that's technically like, I guess a 400 cap room. Um, like once you get to those, like those are like, of course, more work to get people out. They're so like, that's that's what it's like. Damn, this is what these fucking shows should be like. I should have this nice space. Like I have this guy doing sound, paying the fuck attention. You know, like it'd be cool if we had a little lights, like like shit like that. But the thing is, all venue spaces aren't. I feel like most of them venue owners aren't thinking about. I feel like hip hop shows or music shows a lot of times. People just want a venue because they think it'll get them more money in their money for whatever in their business. But for that reason, I really want to open a fucking venue one day because I think there's a right way to do it. Right way to do a small one. Also, Ricky.
Like a true, there's definitely a right way to actually do everything. Like I think that's why I even started doing Inside the Rapper Studio because I hate just interview questions in general. I much
Nah, this
rather
is
ask.
a podcast. Like I fuck with this. I be watching this. I'm like, man, this guy is doing it well. I love any of the like like Baltimore media, like all like shit, like fucking Liquor with Friends is cool as fuck. Bailey got a podcast, Bailey and Friends, like all that shit. This like that's like I love that shit. Can't get enough of it because we need to be telling our stories. Like we really do.
From our side.
Yes, from our side, definitely. And in like 2-3 years, like when like one more of us or more of us starts to like actually blow, it'll be like, damn, like I saw this kid on fucking Inside the Rapper Studio or some shit. Or people will eventually this will become like the source for niggas who's trying to peep in to like Baltimore culture because this is really what it is. It's not, I being in New York, I hear so many people talk about Baltimore, and I typically hate it. I'm just like I don't even want to hear it, bro. Like I don't even want to. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Like
Understandably. So the next song I wanted to talk to you about, which is your latest single that you dropped this year, called 23. Give us details on how this song came about.
So this song is a year old. Like I was supposed to drop it on my 23rd birthday a year ago, but I didn't because I be thinking too much about my songs. Like I want to do like a crazy music video for it. We never got around to it. Maybe still we will, but like it wasn't. So I figured like, damn, I need to start dropping songs again. Let me put this out. The beat started with that drum loop is like a drum loop from a Good Boy pack. He sent me like a pack of drum loops a while ago, and it's literally like me playing two notes on the keyboard and like adding a couple of things. And then like the little bridge section, I just wanted to like do something different, so it's not stagnant song. But I dropped the song I guess 2 months ago now on my 24th birthday. So I was just like, let me get rid of this because if I don't, I'm gonna never be able to. And I fuck with the song, but anyway, it's only one of them.
I think one of the biggest differences between this song and things that I heard from cartoons of the kids is this production level is like on another stratosphere. Were you purposely trying to get in a different bag from cartoons of the kids, or did it just roll out this way?
I just want to be better. That's really what it is. Like I feel like I'm always like my biggest thing is trying to like man, I gotta mix these songs like realistically, the people who I want to mix, like if I want to mix, I don't have the money for it. Like I want some like big time like dudes like to take some shit into their like analog hardware and studios and do shit, but I don't have that. So I've been trying to like just train my ear better, and it's also been like I say 2 years, 3 years really since a lot of those cartoons are for kids songs I was working on the mix, and I was rushing those mixes too, just because I had to get them out for school. So now I just been like, let me really take my time on stuff. Let me like, if I don't know something, let me YouTube it and practice it a bit. And I've been like fucking around with new plugins every so often. I'm like, let me just try to learn as much as I can and absorb and definitely also keep the production, high quality, engineering and production wise. That's like just been the goal since day one. I feel like my songs I gotta make them sound extra good because I also be mixing for other niggas. Like that's like supposed to be the advertisement because I am trying to mix for more people and produce for more people. So I'm like, look, hear this. Tell me what you think of this. And like if you like it, then you should work with me. If you don't, then
right.
That's But I also think these days now the best like mixes are like a little experimental too. So like it's really all down to taste.
That is very true. I think a lot of artists don't really like. I don't want to say they don't tap into the taste. They much rather tap into the commercial ability or marketability of the song rather than the actual overall quality of the product.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire interview, I've heard nothing but product. So kudos to you. Huge shouts out to you. Also, huge shout
Appreciate it.
to everybody that rolled in, whether it be 1 minute, 1 second, or the entire episode. Huge shouts out to IG for not acting up for the entire episode. No commercial breaks. Thank you so much, IG, for acting right. Also, huge shouts out to Trill. He dropped out from the interview yesterday, but we should get him back on track for the next one. So, Bobby Woody, are there any last words, any last promotions, any last propaganda for the people?
Oh man, propaganda, Black Lives Matter. Go donate some shit. You already know what the fuck is up. Man, I had to ask you. I meant to say like, what is like BNS stand for? I was listening to the shit you dropped. I thought that shit was fire.
What happened?
I was saying I listened to the shit that you dropped. That shit is fire. I was asking what is BNS like?
Oh,
Am I allowed
BNS.
to ask you a question?
I hate interviews about me. I really do. But but BNS is essentially big nigga season. We mostly listen. Yeah, I mean you see me.
Hold up.
More so one of those projects that me and Diesel Mac worked on. We've been working for quite some time. It's just that we haven't had like a group, like solo, executively produced project, and that was our baby. So it dropped back in April. Great product, great production, great videos.
That
Not
sounds
just
great.
two. Hopefully working on the third. But yeah, I mean, that's all me. But of course, it's never about the host. It's always about the bottom screen. So once again, Bobby Woody, thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you for hard hitting in your business TMZ questions. Coming up next on Inside the Rapper Studio tomorrow, we're going to have a really special guest in the building. I'm excited for this one. We're going to have Taji Burris, the founder of Working Title Podcast, in the building. Really excited about that. We're going to be talking about their 100th episode. Also talking about doing venues as well as battle rap, because apparently they're just like these demigods of battle rap over there. So, so yeah, huge shouts out to you once again, Bobby Woody. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for allowing me to answer these questions for you. And also, thank you to everyone for joining us for episode 47 of Inside the Rapper Studio. And always, thank you so much, and wash your hands, stay in the house. Thank you again, Bobby. I really appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you. We gotta chop it up.
Absolutely.